Hey everyone, how we doing today? This is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit, and welcome back to another video. And as part of the Ask SplitSuit a Question series, a bunch of people asked hand history questions, and this one actually came via Mark. And Mark just wants me to check out this hand played at 10 no limit. So let's check it out. Okay, so in this hand we have Ace Jack offsuit in the small blind, folds around, there's a steal, here decides the re-steal, and here we are. And Mark gives us some HUD stats to use here. So Sima is a 1310 with an ATS of 22% from the button, fold versus 3-bet of 40% out of 5, a 42% AFQ, a 35% win to showdown, and a 36% win money at showdown, all over 377 hands. So Mark, I really appreciate all the HUD stats, giving me a lot of information to work with here. I love it. Now, that being said, I'm going to say a couple of quick things about these stats. Okay, so first and foremost, almost 400 hands is a good sample size. It's good enough to use for some stats and kind of terrible for others. So for instance, it's good for VPIP and PFR, but for ATS, I wouldn't give ATS specific per position yet. I think over 400 hands, I would just use overall ATS, which I'm assuming is not going to be 22%. And fold versus 3-bet is only out of 5 hands, so he's only faced 3-bets 5 times, not a tremendous amount. But then again, that's not shocking. This is someone who's playing pretty tight, and for 6-max, this is super tight. I don't use AFQ personally, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. When to showdown and win money at showdown, again, not super useful stats because this guy is so incredibly tight, they just don't mean much. And even more so win money at showdown of 36%. So this just doesn't really mean much to me because someone who's running 1310 over 400 hands isn't really going to get to showdown very often. So that number is going to be like massively variable, and I just don't even look at it. So that's more important if you're playing against a guy who's like 86, 62, right? Over that same 377 hands, that dude's going to see a ton of showdowns, and thus it's going to be more important. It's going to converge quicker. But with this particular guy, not going to happen. So what I'm looking at here is we have someone who's super nitty. We have an ATS that is not very high at all, and someone who hasn't faced a lot of 3-bets yet. So that's kind of the assumption and information I'm going to work with going through the rest of this hand. So as for the 3-bet itself, I can totally be okay with this. I like to re-steal a lot, and Ace-Jack is one of those hands that I'll typically 3-bet and re-steal, particularly in a 6-max environment. We end up getting called by Sima, end up going here, here decides to continuation bet, and so far, really happy with everything. And obviously flopping the nuts makes life nice and easy, but we're talking about it nonetheless. Get called, go here, here decides to bet again. So really happy with everything. Size looks good. Everything's looking really good so far. If Sima decides to call, I don't know if it's Sima or Sima or something totally different, but whatever. I'm just going to keep messing around with what I call this individual. Regardless, if they call the $3, it's very little back going into the river. Very easy for us to just jam the rest of it in, be done with it, totally happy. So we end up getting called. 8 on the river pairs the board, and for whatever reason, Hero decides to check, face a bet, and then fold. So we need to talk about this for a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to back up one quick tick, and Mark, please remember, not trying to be personal at all here, just totally looking at the hand and looking at what I'm seeing right now. And I really don't want to see you fold this. Okay, you're getting 3-1 on the river, which is a great price. You have a very strong hand. That's cool too. But I want you to think for a moment about Sima. Think about the hands that this person probably has. Would this person 4-bet preflop with kings and queens? I think so. I think that's pretty fair to say. Would they 4-bet preflop with 10s? Maybe not. So let's just say that they can have full combinations of the 10s boat. Okay, I think that's pretty fair to say, so there's a whopping 3 combos of that. Did they have runner quads? Probably not. I don't think this person is calling pocket 8s when the board comes like that on the flop. So we're really talking about 3 combos of nut hands. And then my question is there even like one combo of ace-king he could have here? Well, yeah, probably. In which case, cool, let's get it in, right? Because we're getting 3-1. We've already found at least one combo of something that he'll jam here that's not just the nuts, and we beat everything that's not just the nuts. So this is the kind of situation where we need to be getting this inside. We need to be calling here. Honestly, I just would have shoved the river myself. I wouldn't have even checked there. I don't understand going into panic mode when that card comes off, but sometimes we get into that mode where we're acting a little too fast. We don't slow down to think about it. We just go, oh, damn it, why does the board always pair whenever we have a straight, blah, blah, blah. But I think if we slow down for a minute, we'd see, okay, there just aren't really a ton of combos of hands we should care about, in which case this is actually a very, very easy situation for us to jam the river, or if we ever check it, certainly going for a check call, particularly getting this price. So Mark, thanks a lot for sending in this hand, and hopefully this helps you the next time you find yourself in a situation where you're considering folding a straight. If you or anyone else has a poker related hand or question, feel free to leave it on our Google Plus page. Leave a link for that in the description box, and also please make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this type of video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, good luck out there and happy grinding.